Oh God. I think we're live. All right. Let's start trying to get people in here. If you're tuning in, oh shoot, we do have people. What's up, Dark King? What's up, Nathan? I'm just doing my tweets and getting the noties out there right now. How do I sound? Am I louder than the music? Does my mic sound okay? The delay seems like it might be kind of big. I'll fix that for the next stream. Oh, sick. Okay. Am I still live? Is it still working okay? I've got a, yeah, that's fine. I'll ignore it. If you guys can see me, that's good enough. Yeah, I appreciate that, Natan. I didn't warn anybody about this. I just kind of felt like doing it. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, and just to make sure, I'm gonna crack open a brewski. But yeah, I kind of missed doing YouTube. I wanted to be back, so that's the plan right now. We have some. Uh-oh. Can you hear me okay? I think I'm breaking up now. Why am I breaking up now? Okay. That might have fixed it. Sorry. Hey, Nerdy Spaceman. How are you doing? Ugh. All right. But yeah, this tier list is going to be our order of business a bit later on. Friend of the stream, Nyles. Yeah, it might get fuzzy again. I haven't streamed in a long time, so if there are technical difficulties on this stream, it won't happen again, hopefully. Yeah, I'm back, GG. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're making a whole tier list. I'm going to talk a lot this stream. I'm also doing everything from OBS, so I might try to split some stuff up for next time. Maybe I'll just close that. Oh, that did a lot, actually. Okay. What if I closed this? What does that do? Yeah, okay. That made it worse. All right, but this is fine. Got my chat right here. All right. So, where I've been, I'm just going to start talking now. There are 8 of you in here. Appreciate that. Where I've been last year was kind of rough. I was very consistent, while MultiVersus was consistent, right? Yeah, I did a lot of 2v2s with private lobbies and you guys. I think the last stream I did, it was Valentine's Day. Actually, we can look. It was Valentine's Day. It was about a year ago, and me and my duo partner spent 5 minutes getting blasted, slamming beers, and duoing against you guys, right? And truthfully, the reason I went away for so long is because MultiVersus went away for so long. I had other videos do well. DKO did not do bad for the channel. Neither did Mortal Kombat. But I don't know if you noticed, DKO is not around anymore. That game was around for like 2 months, maybe. It fell off very hard, very fast. Like it beat the MultiVersus speed run for losing players. That game crashed and burned. I don't even know if it's still public and gets updates. This video did super well, and that was nice. That kind of carried the channel for a couple months while I wasn't making content. But aside from personal reasons, which I'll talk a bit about soon, it's just that MultiVersus fell off and kind of went away. And that was my favorite game to cover. Like, I loved making all of these videos. I've never made this much content for a game. This thumbnail is bad. I can see why that video flopped. That is an ugly thumbnail. But yeah. I miss this game. And I think it's coming back soon-ish. I couldn't wait another 2 months. So we're just going to start playing Tekken and Street Fighter on our next stream. But for this stream, we have a lot to talk about. Also, there were some personal things that came up. Medical issues with both me and my mom. And then there was a death in the family, which, you know, it happened like 8 months ago. My medical issues persisted till like November, December. It was kind of miserable. But I'm good now. Like, there was a time where I could not eat without getting sick. And it was just, it's the worst I've felt in my entire life. And it lasted for months. But I'm here. I feel good. My doctor has me off monthly visits. He was going to have me come in 6 months, but we had to do some more testing in 3. So I'll be back in April. But I'm good. Nosey's good. He's healthy. And yeah, man. I just miss MultiVersus so much. This game was so good. There's no fighting game where you can play 2v2 online with your friends. And I played that shit on Wi-Fi and it ran great. That's probably why my stream I'm struggling a bit right now because I am not on I'm not wired in at the moment. And so there might be some cracks later. I'm a Wi-Fi warrior through and through. It's who I am. I can't apologize for that. Ugh. Wow. I am kind of stoked this did well. I think I'm going to keep doing fighting game concepts. And I actually have one. If you guys would like to look at it real quick. We'll save the tier list for a bit later. I'll start in like 10 minutes maybe. Yeah, I still play in the lab sometimes too. I do. It's fun to fire up. But I was gonna do an anime fighting game video. And this was like the look that I wanted to go for. I don't know if you know the issue of Shonen Jump I'm talking about, but there's like this cyan, magenta, blue Naruto cover that exists. I should have pulled it up before stream, but it is like, I really dug that color scheme, and I wanted to make something colorful and a little different than I've done before. So this was it. And I can show you guys the actual characters in a sec if you care about that. But this might be the first video you actually see from me. I appreciate that, Bat Spidey. I will absolutely play you guys when MultiVersus comes back. I might do a 12-hour stream when that game comes back. I've been thinking about it so much. I just want it back. And then, yeah, like, these are the actual character choices I went with. The ones right here and right here, these are DLC. So it's like 24 base roster and then 30 including DLC. Yeah, I'm actually not a nerd. Uh I'm kidding. But I don't really watch anime like that anymore. I had to ask a lot of friends, and they all got mad at me because I wanted Soma Yukihira in my roster. But I don't care. That's my guy. I got to get him in there. But yeah, other than that, that's probably the next fighting game concept. I have a couple ideas for what to do next, but nothing that I'm for sure sold on at the moment. But back to this. Our friend of the stream, Nyles Styles, made one of the worst tier lists I've seen in my entire life. And, you know, we love him, but good Lord, we gotta talk about this for a sec. So everything from practically confirmed to will never happen needs work, to be real. First of all, Darkseid through Catwoman, those are not practically confirmed. I don't believe Rigby is. I don't believe Robin is. And I don't believe Gumball is. I have heard behind the scenes that Mordecai was happening. Seeing Luffy in his screen makes me irrationally angry. I'm glad I closed that out then. But yeah, I think he hit a lot on the head, and I think he missed even more. Love him though. It is always fun to see another perspective. Like, he underrated Game of Thrones characters because he thought they might focus on marketing towards kids in the future, which I think makes sense. I wouldn't say it stinks. I like Nyles. It's a well-made video. It's just a different opinion. It's just not one I agree with. And because I'm not normal, I'm not a normal, rational human being, my response to this is that I want to make my own. I want to make my own. These are already in, obviously. This tier is correct. I have some thoughts about the never happened tier, and I have some thoughts about Gwen Tennyson. He put her in never happened. Dude, we are not just gonna get one Ben 10 character. And I think it's best to just start, right? We got a big tier list ahead of us. I'm gonna talk about every single character. And we're gonna start with Abigail from Codename Kids Next Door. Now, I don't think Codename Kids Next Door is the most likely franchise to get in, but I still think it could happen. And I think Abigail makes sense. You could make Nigel Uno and the other members costumes. The thing is, you only need one member of the team, and the rest of the members could be costumes. And I think that's what they should do. I think Abigail makes sense in the same fact. Like, think about how we got Velma and Arya over Jon Snow and Scooby Doo. She helps the situation with WB only having 5 female characters that they actively market and push, and 4 of them are in the game already, right? Ace, that's a costume, if anything. He's never happening otherwise. I think Agent 47 is never happening. Yeah. The Hitman games aren't popular like that. And also, Warner Brothers doesn't own Hitman. I don't know why he's on this tier list. This tier list is supposed to be like a bunch of Warner Brothers characters and some guests at the bottom. But yeah, they don't own Agent 47. He is very unlikely. I might bump him here because I wouldn't say never, but nah. I stand by my word. I think Aku could happen. He's a good villain rep. We don't have a lot of those, especially from Cartoon Network, right? Samurai Jack is also so likely. He's almost definitely going to happen at some point. And why not give him Aku? Alfred. Makes sense as an announcer to me. The issue with an Alfred as a character, I think this is the game where he could work. Like, he wouldn't work in an Injustice, but I do think he works in MultiVersus as a joke character. But the issue with Alfred is, does he take the spot over a more deserving Batman character that people want more, not just as a joke? And the answer is, I don't think so. Now, Amelia, this character is from a show called Infinity Train. If you haven't heard of it, it's because Warner Brothers shot it. And that's why it's never happening. If you can't even watch this show on HBO Max anymore, and it's sad, it was a good show, but yeah, you can blame Warner Brothers for this one. Amethyst. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but the MultiVersus devs are big fans of Steven Universe. Massive fans of Steven Universe. I think she's already in the background of a stage, but I'm kind of neutral on Amethyst. I don't think she's guaranteed, and I think there are Steven Universe characters that I think are way more likely. Aquaman, I'm neutral on. I'll actually throw him in likely, but very bottom of likely. I think when you think of DC characters, Aquaman is one of the first 5 you think of because of years of being parodied on shows like Family Guy and SpongeBob. If you think about it, Aquaman might be one of the most popular DC characters in terms of like a casual appeal. He had the highest grossing DC movie last year, and I think his movie is the highest grossing DC movie of the entire DCEU. So he's not unpopular. I could see it happening. Aragorn, I'm neutral on. I think there are more likely Lord of the Rings characters, even if I'd love to see it. This is not happening. If we get Samurai Jack, it's him and Aku and no one else. Austin Powers, I could see someone doing a bad impression as an announcer, but would someone who's not 39 years old and who has a mortgage want to see Austin Powers? I don't think so. I think the audience you want to have for your game, which is late teens, early 20s, because that's when people start to get jobs and they have disposable income. And those are the people that spend the most time gaming. I don't think any of that demographic cares about Austin Powers. Now, here's one of my hot takes. A lot of people are going to put him up here because Tony said he'd like to see him as a character. But Tony is one man on the dev team, and I don't think the casual audience would respond well to there being two Batmen in the game. It doesn't matter who your favorite is. If your favorite is not Batman, they're going to be mad. I think he's a costume. I think as a character, he's down here. There are like 9 Batman characters that come first, and you can list them. I want you to start listing Batman characters to yourself. They all get in first, unless you named like Condiment King or Calendar Man. I love him, but his only shot, in my opinion, is as a skin. Beast Boy, he's not confirmed, but he is likely. He is one of the most requested characters. He has such great moveset potential. Oh my god. He would be perfect, but he's going to take a lot of development work, and I think one character comes first, and we're going to skip Beetlejuice. I think Ben 10 is a higher priority right now. I think after Ben 10, Beast Boy makes sense. I think it makes sense for the devs to have like one massive project at a time. And with the colossal characters being a pain to balance, I think there are a couple that come before Beast Boy, but I think he gets in. Just not this year, right? Beetlejuice, I've heard him talk to me. He has so much stuff in the files, right? We're gonna see him. He's getting a new movie this year. It actually looks like it might be okay. They got Tim Burton back. They got Jenna Ortega on that. So yeah, might be a good movie. And I think it makes sense to drop him then. Benson, I think, is like up here. I think there's a chance they've already teased him. They teased a character that's known for being angry, and there's only one character that I think is more likely than Benson for that. And the only reason I'm not saying Benson is I've heard a regular show character that is getting in first. Billy and Mandy, as much as I like them, I'm kind of neutral on them. I think they get in before Aragorn. There's a character from this show that gets in first, and we all know who that is. Wiz is on this list, and I can go get him so we can do him and Boomstick together. Here he is, Wizard. What a nerd, man. Black Adam, he's in the game somehow. Black Hat, I think I'm kind of neutral on. I think top of neutral, he'd be a cool villain rep, but I just don't see that many people asking for him. I think he'd be a really cool pick, but I just can't say anything more than that. I think especially for the first year or two, and you should agree with me. I'm not saying you should, but I think you probably do agree with me on this. They need to focus fan favorites. Like, season 1 of MultiVersus had Gizmo, Stripe. They didn't have just banger after banger after banger to capitalize on the launch. I think they learned that lesson. I think we get, for a year or two, only fan favorites. So, a character like Black Hat is a cool pick on year 3, if that makes sense, if we get there. That's not happening. That's not happening for a very obvious reason. The show's called Ruby, and her name's not Ruby. That's why it's not happening. Boomstick and Wiz, that's got to be an announcer pack, right? Someone said it earlier. And I do agree. Let me see if I can find who said that. God, am I blind? Oh, official Kurt Plays. Yeah, he's right. I think they should be an announcer pack, and that'd be cool. They could call the announcer pack Death Battle, right? Brock, I think is bottom of likely. I think Venture Brothers has an audience. I've heard of this one. I know people really like it. I could see it happening for sure. I just don't know how soon it happens. Buster and Babs is not happening. They're not happening. I could see Lola getting in, and then her and Bugs getting skins themed around them. So Bugs turns blue, Lola turns pink. So maybe I'll put them in costume, but I don't think they're happening as an actual character. I'm actually not that high on Catwoman's odds right now. I think Catwoman makes sense in 2023, 2022 when the Batman hype is there. But the Batman 2 comes out next year, and I don't think she's in that movie. I just don't think she's in anything coming soon. And if they do a like female Batman villain, there is one that I think comes first. Like absolutely. I'm neutral on these guys. I think they're the most likely out of this tier. I could see it happening as a meme character. I don't think they're as popular as like a Rick and Morty, so I can't guarantee them. I do think there's a solid chance this happens, but oh yeah, Chitara is not happening, by the way. The only way Chitara happens is if Catwoman does get in and she gets a cosplay as Chitara. Chowder, I'm kind of neutral on. I don't. He might be bottom of likely. The issue is that with Cartoon Network reps, and here's the thing we have to talk about. DC's going to get a million characters, and so is Cartoon Network. But the unfair thing is that Cartoon Network has to split those reps between like 30 shows. While DC is overall one overarching brand. And sure, adding a Batman character is not the same thing as adding a Superman character. But DC is still, I don't know. We're going to see a lot of DC characters. It's going to be like the Mario of this game, like how there's a billion Mario characters in Smash. And I think Chowder's top and neutral. Yeah, I think he's top and neutral. I don't see it happening in year 1 or 2. And that's really what I'm thinking about here. I think on year 3, I'd be willing to bump a lot of these up. Chris McLean, I want to say is very unlikely. This is another not WB character. They would have to negotiate for his rights. WB doesn't own Total Drama Island. It's not an original show to Cartoon Network. I think a Canadian studio created it and Cartoon Network distributes it in America. I don't think we see him. I think he's very unlikely. And if they want to negotiate for the rights to a character, I just don't see it being Chris. I do agree if he gets in, he's an announcer. But I don't know if I agree that he gets in, even as an announcer. I think this is a shot in the dark. Jason Todd is not on this list, but he would be a costume for Robin if he got in. I don't think there's enough slots to give DC every grown-up Robin, like Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin, and Batgirl, and Batman. That's a lot. You know what I mean? I don't think that's happening. The cleaners are never happening. Is MultiVersus coming back soon or something? That is interesting. I think it comes back within 2 months. I think within 2 months we get news. And I don't know if you were here when MultiVersus came out the first time, but I started my content drip like before it came out. So I had a backlog for new people. And that's what I'm doing again. Connie, I could see happening. Here's the thing. The developers love Steven Universe. I've never seen it. I never will. As soon as my protagonist starts singing, I zone out. I'm a caveman. I have a dent in my head. I don't want to watch a musical. I don't see Connie being in anything lower than likely. I don't think she's guaranteed. I think we only get 1 or 2 more Steven Universe characters, but she might be one. Genuinely. Constantine is not happening, bro. I don't think he has anything in the works at DC. I could see like a cosplay skin, but hell no. Courage, gotta be up here. If he's not up here, Player First Games is trolling. Like, this is one of the most popular Cartoon Network characters of all time. I think if Cartoon Network only ever gets 5 more reps, I think he needs to be one of them. He has to be one of them, right? I think you agree with that. Craig is very likely. No, he's not very likely. I'd say he's like here. Maybe under Benson. I think Craig happens eventually. The early data mines had voice lines referring to Craig. He wasn't voiced or anything, but and there are characters from those data mines that will never happen. Just a heads up. But Craig is cool. I could see it. Cyborg is so unlikely now. His biggest thing going for him is that they might try to add every Teen Titan. But do you want to spend 5 slots, including 5 DC slots, on the Teen Titans? I don't know. I think they might go with like 2 or 3. And then maybe costumes for the others if they can squeeze them in. I just don't see Cyborg happening. I would love to be wrong. Daenerys to me is a very slept on character. In my opinion, I think Daenerys is ridiculously likely. It'll either be her or Rhaenyra from House of the Dragon, and whoever doesn't get in will be a costume. So either Daenerys gets in, and then Rhaenyra is a costume, or Rhaenyra gets in, and Daenerys is a costume. I think we're sleeping on Daenerys, and she's like here. I think she has a really good shot. The roster won't have mostly DC, but it will be the most represented brand. There's no way around that. Just as a heads up. So I agree, Nexa. Roster shouldn't be 90% DC, but it will have more reps than anything other. I do agree the tier list is outdated. I might find a more recent one for a future stream, but this is in response to our buddy Nyles, and he used this one. It'd be unfair if I used a newer one. Daffy Duck, he's getting in. I don't know how else to say it. He hasn't been leaked, but I've never seen this much hype for a character, and I think he's the angry one. How they tease that there's a character known for being angry. They hired the guy that made the mock-up Daffy Duck moveset. He's getting in. You know what I mean? There's no way he doesn't. Daffy, that's a costume. I think people overestimate as a whole how many characters this game can get. Let's say this game gets supported for 5 years, and we get 6 characters a year, which is very normal for fighting games, And when we got a character every other week, the game died in 2 months. It wasn't sustainable. Do you really want every member of the Scooby-Doo gang if we get 30 characters over the next like 3 to 5 years? Probably not, right? You probably are like, give Velma a cosplay skin. I'm fine with that. I agree. Daffy should be in the game. Now, here's my hottest take. Let's talk about. I'm not saying they're in the stage. I'm not saying these guys are stages, but I want to move them up so we can talk about them. Let's talk about Darkseid and Deathstroke. Now, if you ask anybody that's not me, they'll tell you Darkseid's more likely. I disagree. I think Darkseid is a great pick 4 or 5 years ago. I think he's still a great pick, but I don't know if he's as much of a lock as when we were going the Zack Snyder DC universe building up to Darkseid. I think DC as a whole might move on from Darkseid for a little bit. I still think he's likely. I still think he's like probably around here. I'll give Craig the edge. But I think Deathstroke is like here. I think Deathstroke is a better pick if you want DC villains. Yeah, I think Darkseid's likely. I think Deathstroke is more likely. Deathstroke is a representative of so many shows. And sure, 10 years ago, his stock was through the roof. He was the villain in Teen Titans. He was the villain in the good seasons of Arrow. He was the villain in Arkham Origins. But I still think Deathstroke makes sense. And he's coming to the Suicide Squad game. I think there's a chance they could add him here. And his stock goes up from the Suicide Squad game as well. I'm not sure about that, though. Don't quote me. But Deathstroke is everybody's villain. He's the only villain with a heroes gallery. And his gallery includes Wonder Woman, Batman. What, isn't he in the new Superman show? He's literally in the new Superman show, right? And he has so many costumes. And if you're going to have Teen Titans characters, they will, by the way. I think Deathstroke kind of needs to be in. He's the best choice. He is a Cartoon Network villain and a DC villain. No one else does that. This is not happening. I'm so sorry, Demencia fans. If someone from the show gets in, it's Black Hat. Dexter, very likely. One of those really popular Cartoon Network characters. Is he more likely than Courage and Beast Boy? Maybe. Actually. He might be. I'll put him here. It's a close. Okay. Gamers, feel free to clip this. I love Dick. It does a lot for me. I love Dick Dastardly. If you're going to add an old Hanna-Barbera character, I want Dick. Give me Dick. Put him in. I love this dude. He is so ridiculously evil and charming. He's got like that. He's got the mustache that you twist when you're a cartoon villain. He's so good. And I don't think we get many Hanna-Barbera characters, but I do think he makes a lot of sense. I would love to see him. Dio, ooh. I don't want to say he's unlikely, but there are no anime characters in the game. There is no anime anything that's been leaked or data mined. And truly, if we get an anime rep, I don't think Dio is first in line. I think first in line is probably like a JoJo, right? And he is a JoJo, but he's not really a JoJo. I'm talking like Jotaro, right? I'm gonna put him in neutral because I think he happens before a couple of these characters. I think he's like there. Yeah. I don't think he's unlikely, but until we see anime. Now, once we see anime, he's up here. Dio shoots up. Dio stock will rise. If you're one of those like Wall Street gamers, if you're one of those Wall Street frat boys, invest in Dio stock. It is cheap as hell right now, and it goes up. Dr. Flug. I don't want to say never, but I will. That's not happening, man. Dr. Manhattan. What do I think of him? He's a weird choice, right? I don't think he's the most popular Watchmen rep. I don't think he's the most interesting Watchmen rep. I think it's really hard to do movesets for someone with like unlimited power and potential, right? I want to put him here. I think he's low. I think his odds suck, personally. I don't really see it. Godzilla will be on here. I'll rate him later. Yeah, Natan, I just don't. I wish I was bigger on anime. I need to get into it. I watched part 1 and part of part 2 for JoJo, so I'm not a super knowledgeable guy. I'm kind of like your dad, who's like, "Are you watching one of those Naruto's?" And you're watching like not even an anime like Teen Titans. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think Droopy, kind of unlikely. I don't think we get a lot of Hanna-Barbera. Dick Dastardly, if you ask that question, you're not cultured. Dick Dastardly is up. We buy these stocks. He is one of 3 Hanna-Barbera characters who have a hope and a dream. Okay? I'm not going to answer that question. Of course, Dick is high. We love Dick in this chat. Okay? Chat, can I see you saying we love Dick? You don't have to do that. That's a bait. Eds are up here. Are they above Benson? I think so. I think I see this happening before Benson. No. But Benson's been teased. I'll put him under Benson. They gotta do Eds. Right? I saw that Flapjack. Look, Tony Hyun is my GOAT. But he doesn't speak for the whole dev team. And the thing is, Batman Beyond is gonna be a costume. Do you think DC gives up 2 Batman slots? There's no way. There's no way we get 2 Batmen as DC reps. Before Robin? Before Catwoman even? Before the Joker? The Joker's not in the game, and we're talking about adding Batman 2? 2 Batman, 2 Furious? It's not happening. I want to see him in any way, but I don't agree. I do agree Tony would prefer Batman. Batman being Terry. Do you see how confusing it is? His name is Batman. He's literally Batman. He should be a skin for Batman. But I think if Tony had his way, Batman Beyond would be a skin. But part of game dev is that you have to make concessions, and you don't always get what you want. You know what I mean? I lean towards costume on him. Elmer Fudd, I think he's got a shot. I think he's like maybe here. I think other Looney Tunes get in first, and we already have 3 of them. So I don't know how many more Looney Tunes we get. You know what I mean? Emmett. Can I just treat Emmett like Lego minifigure? And you know what I'm talking about, right? Emmett's like the Lego minifigure, and we all understand that. I'm kind of neutral on that. WB isn't as linked with Lego as they used to be. I think they used to have the film distribution rights, but I don't think they do anymore. And because of that, his stock goes from green to orange. I don't think he's unlikely because Lego's a big get and they still make Warner Brothers Lego sets, but I don't think it's super likely. Chat, what's Enid from? Is this like OKKO? The fact that I'm asking that, she's like here, right? Chat, what's she from? A Lego stage would go dummy. I agree. Big delay. I'm streaming from my room, by the way. You gotta cut me some slack there. I think she's probably here. I don't see that happening. Eustace. Not likely. I could see it, though. I think he's kind of Elmer Fudd. Like, okay. Yeah, if she's OKKO, we all agree there's a character that gets in before her, and OKKO doesn't get 2 reps. It's not like it's not Adventure Time big. You know what I mean? Like, I like the look of that show. I've never seen it. I'd be fine with those characters. Yeah, she's not happening. Father, I think is kind of unlikely. I don't even think he's above Chris. I think he might be below Cyborg. I think he's like here. Father, as much as I love him, I think if you do codename Kids Next Door, you need to do one of the kids because the whole appeal to that show is that these kids have these massive imaginations and are shooting teddy bears and mustard, right? And so if you do codename Kids Next Door and do an adult, that's crazy. I don't know if codename gets a bunch of reps. It's not like huge, and it's a little old now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my friend. I gotta keep Enid and Never. I gotta stand by my laurels. I think the Flash is very likely, by the way. Is he above Beast Boy? Almost certainly, right? I think. Okay, I'm gonna bump Beast Boy down to the bottom of very likely, and I need you guys to understand that it's because Beast Boy development doesn't start until Ben 10 is out, because these are both big projects, right? These are massive undertakings. They're not going to have 2 or 3 of these at the same time, right? So I'm going to bump him down, but I do think he's happening just in a while. But the Flash just makes too much sense. I think, here's my take. I think Aquaman is more popular and well known among casuals, but DC fans like the Flash more, right? What Flash? I think they do Barry. No. No, I think they do. I don't know if you've noticed, but all the DC characters kind of look they do. Well, Batman and Superman do. They kind of look like they do in the Justice League show. And to stay with that look so they all look good together, I think they might do Wally and do that voice actor, right? I don't think Totally Spies is owned by Warner Brothers, but I think they're getting a new show. So it could happen. I'm gonna say Flash is up here. Foghorn Leghorn. I'm neutral on. He's like with Elmer Fudd, but Elmer Fudd's above him. I think we get more Looney Tunes, but my brain doesn't jump to these. But we got Marvin and Taz before Daffy, so I really don't know. Freakazoid. If this was my list, Freakazoid would be here. He'd be in the game already. I love the look of this character. It's not my list, though. This is an honest list. I think he's like here. I think he's below Aragorn. I see him happening before these guys, but I could see all of these guys happening before Freakazoid. I'd love to be wrong, though. Fred, I think. Do I want to put him very likely? I think I do. There are very few Hanna-Barbera characters that get in. And by the way, if we get Fred, Yogi Bear, I'm gonna go get Yogi Bear. We all know. Good lord. Who made this? Bad picks, honestly. I think these two, if you put in these three and then Scooby-Doo, you never need to put in another Hanna-Barbera character. You get all of it. You're done. You got their villain. You got the cool, lovable bear, and he's like, hey, boo-boo. And then you got Fred, who's a terrible husband, but he's iconic. So he gets it. I think Fred happens first, and I'll dump Yogi. He's like under Darkseid. He's like under Aku. But he's above Aquaman. That's it. Fred, bro, cosplay costume. We can't get all 5. I promise you, in 2 years, we don't have 60 characters. We have maybe 40. Maybe. Maybe. It might be more like 36. Again, do you want a 4th or a 10th even of your roster to just be Scooby-Doo? Probably not. So I think he's kind of low. I think he's a costume, actually. Freddy. Who owns Freddy Krueger? Chat. Who owns Freddy Krueger? I don't think he's Warner Brothers. I don't think he is. He was in Mortal Kombat, though. And he's still showing up in games. I could see it. I think he's a decent horror rep. I could see it happening before Dio. At least until we see anime. Maybe above him. I could see him like right here. We need horror reps. He's been in Dead by Daylight. He's still in Dead by Daylight. You can still buy him. They took Stranger Things away from people. And I think that's a sign that his rights aren't that hard to get. All right. Here's my hot take of the day. Hot take. Not hot take. Why are we giving up on Lord of the Rings? They're releasing a movie this year. Warner Brothers is releasing a movie this year. And the last 2 Lord of the Rings games have been dog water. The rights holders need WB. Sorry, I'm breaking up a bit. I bumped my cord. My bad. Can you hear me okay? New Line Cinema. Oh, they do own it. They do own him. All right, thank you, chat. I think his placement stays the same. No, I'll put him with Lego Guy then. I think he shoots up if they don't have to negotiate. But Gandalf, right? So I'm going to spoil why people think Gandalf isn't happening. It's because he had a moveset that leaked, and then it leaked that they scrapped that moveset. Tony said in an interview that the Iron Giant went through like 2 or 3 movesets before he got the one they used. Just because a moveset gets scrapped does not mean the character gets scrapped. I think they might have delayed him to release alongside the movie dropping this year. It's an animated Lord of the Rings movie, I'm pretty sure. It sounds really good. I think Lord of the Rings, it's still with WB. You know what I mean? Yeah, they gave his upbeat to Morty. They used assets from his moveset, so they didn't waste dev time. I don't think that means he's done forever. And I'm going to put him in this tier. I'm going to put him like up here. I'll put him like up here. I don't want to put him in basically confirmed. But Gandalf's stock is high. If you think the rights holders, and the whole reason this is up in the air is Lord of the Rings was bought by a new company recently. But do you think they see the performance of their dog shit Golem game and their dog shit Dwarves game, and they don't think about how WB was the only company to make profitable Lord of the Rings games? And good ones? I think we get it. I'm a Gandalf believer, and I don't think they're gonna blunder Lord of the Rings. David Zaslav, that stupid bitch, like that dumb man that runs the company, knows that Lord of the Rings is a big deal. Like, he listed it as one of the most important WB franchises. So, I think they probably go Wally, but I might be wrong. Armchair Gamer, I think my thoughts on this, I think they want their DC characters to look good in a lineup together, and Batman and Superman are heavily based on the animated universe, so they might go Wally. George Jetson, don't put him in. We got Morty. He would just do what Morty does, right? I think it's kind of unlikely. He might be an announcer. But do you think we get the Jetsons before Flintstones, Yogi Bear, and Dick Dastardly? I don't think so. All right. So here's my take. I'm going to find all these freaking Rampage characters, and I think I'm going to spoil it now. I think they're a little overhyped. I think people got really excited when we saw Colossal characters, but if we only get one Colossal character a year, do we really think Rampage gets those slots? I don't think they do. I think Godzilla might take priority. I think they're top of unlikely because WB actually owns the characters. Also, I'm just going to get this out of the way. They're not doing the Jurassic Park T-Rex. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. This list has some bad picks on it. I'll tell you what. I'm sorry if Indominus Rex is your favorite. Mourn his death in private, I guess, because he's not happening. All right, we'll find the other Rampage guy later. Am I blind? You guys probably see him, and I am blind. What's his name? You guys know the third Rampage dude's name? I think Barry and Wally both get in, and one of them is a skin. I agree. I think they both get in. I think we might get the Flash this year. I think if we get two DC characters, it's obviously this guy. Spoiler alert. And maybe the Flash. But there are other characters. We'll find other Rampage guy later. It doesn't matter. Gimli, so unlikely. Bottom of unlikely. He's going to be part of someone else's moveset if Lord of the Rings happens. This dude, somehow, in the game. Godzilla, I think, is like up here. I think people sleep on Godzilla. Minecraft got Godzilla. And sure, Minecraft has so much money. But Dave the Diver got Godzilla. There are so many games with Godzilla in them. And some of them aren't even that big. I think the only thing... Oh, he's next to Raven. Oh, you're the best. You're the best. Thank you so much. Anyways, long story short, these guys aren't happening. But they might. If they need big bodies and they don't get the rights to anybody, they might do it. And I think it'd be cool. But I think it's very unlikely. Godzilla. He's like up here, dude. Like, you can't tell me Dave the Diver gets Godzilla and MultiVersus fumbles that. You know what I mean? He is the most important character for them to get. And WB is still producing the movies, and he has a movie coming out this year. If we miss Godzilla in 2024, that's the worst timeline. I think we might see him this year. Gollum, no way, dude. He's above Gimli. I don't know if they want the stink, because he has a stink on him now, right? From the game. I think he might be bottom of neutral because he's still in like every single Lord of the Rings movie. I think he's in the Hobbit movies too. So, yeah. I didn't see the Hobbit movies. I didn't care. We're not getting Gossamer. He might be a stage. There are like only 2 characters that I think are stages. That's why it's there. Grace, like I said, they shot Infinity Train. That's not on me. That's Warner Brothers. They shot that show completely. Green Arrow, I think. Look, man, I'll be real. If this was 2013, if this was 10 years ago, he's up here. That show was big. It's not 2013. I think he's like down here. I actually think he's unlikely, to be honest. I think there's so many DC characters that get in first. I think in 3 years his stock goes up if they make a movie for him. Green Lantern, bottom of likely, I want to say. So Green Lantern getting in depends on 2 things. The Green Lantern show needs to be good. It needs to be good. And people need to like it and be excited for Green Lantern, right? He has a lot of moveset potential. Well, not really. I say that, but every game dev just gives Green Lantern jet planes and missiles. So, I think Hal, Guy, and Kyle could be skins, yeah. I think it's either Hal or John. That's the default. I think they'll do Hal. I don't know why. I just have a feeling. But yeah, I think Green Lantern's... He might be here. I don't think you guys... Do you guys understand how bad the casual perception of Green Lantern is? Right? He has the Injustice games, which sell well, but people hate the interpretation of those characters. He has the Green Lantern movie, which was obviously bad. And then he has Suicide Squad, which doesn't have a great casual perception. And that's all he has. I think he's top and neutral. But don't worry. His show comes out kind of soon. And if it's good, he shoots up to here. If it's bad, he shoots down to here. I think the show kind of like holds a lot for this character, right? I know there's the Green Lantern power battery in one of the trailers, but I don't think that means anything. I think that could just be part of a stage, you know what I mean? It's like how Amethyst is in a stage. That doesn't really... She doesn't get in because of that. I think Green Lantern, they really need his show to be well received. If it's well received, I would bump him up a lot. I would put him here if his show is well liked. But until his show comes out and is good, he's the very top of this tier. And this is not a bad tier. This is kind of a wait and see tier, right? I know Abigail's in it and like Freakazoid's in it, but I think these characters have a decent shot still. This is not a they're not happening. This is like there's a 50-50 chance, right? Grim, I'll put like here. I'll put him up here. Where would I put him though? Probably put him here maybe. I think a decent amount of people want Grim. He is just straight up the Grim Reaper. So everyone knows who that is, even if you haven't seen the show. You might be fighting someone then Legendario. I think there are a couple Steven Universe characters that get in first. As a casual fan, I've never seen the show. So my opinion on Steven Universe is not expert, but as a casual, I'm valuable information because you know who I perceive as the big characters as someone who hasn't seen it, right? I think Grim's up here though. I think he has a solid shot. And I want him, but I'd love to see it. Okay, we agree Gumball's like right here, right? There's no way. There's no way they don't do Gumball. Gumball is one of the like top 5 best pulling WB characters. He might be top 3. He's ridiculously high. He's not confirmed, but he is very, very likely. I'd even put him. I think he's a safer bet than like all of these. Because Ben 10, hey, I appreciate that, Naders. But Ben 10, as much as I love him, takes a lot of dev power. And I think we all agree that Ben 10 is a nightmare for game dev. And like I said, Gandalf, there's a couple things that depend on that. Godzilla, I put above Gandalf, actually. I think I overhyped Gandalf a bit, but I do believe in him. I think he's like here. I think he's under the Flash. But yeah, I'm a believer of Gumball. I think that boy gets in. Yeah, and he's getting new content. That's a good point, Flapjack. They're still investing in him. Okay, now this character pisses me off because everyone underrates her. How can Ben 10 be the most requested character for the game by a country mile? It's so much. And her not be likely. She has a cool moveset. MultiVersus needs women. Like they have 5. They haven't added a single female character post-launch. They need women. And Gwen is one of the most popular ones. She's been around for almost 2 decades. She's popular. They could give her such a cool moveset. I wouldn't say she's above Benson, but she's certainly like Ed's level. I think I'll do this. I think these two are about equal. But I give Deathstroke the edge, right? Look, man. All right, let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Warner Brothers decides if Harry Potter gets in this game. I think if it's up to PFG, they don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, and he's down here. If it's up to them, right? But Hogwarts Legacy, best-selling game of last year. They're making a new HBO show for him. WB's gonna want him in, I'm afraid. I don't really care how you feel about this character. I do care about the author being a piece of shit. But I think he gets in, and WB says he gets in. So if Hogwarts Legacy flopped, I don't think he gets in, but they sold 20 million units, dude. Like, he's up here. I'd put him, realistically, he's above Godzilla, I think. No, he's not. I believe. Him doesn't happen. I'm neutral on him. Actually, cool character, but I think other characters come first. So kind of down here, actually, maybe like above Droopy and Gimli, I'd say. Hoagie, that's a whole skin, bro. It's a skin. I'm just gonna get all the code name right now. Let's get Kooky. That's a skin. Where's Wally? There's Wally. Skin. There was Nigel Uno. Do they call him number 1? I guess he'd be an N either way. Okay, cool. They got his actual name. I think Nigel's bottom of likely. I think there's a decent amount of requests for Codename Kids Next Door. I could see Abigail getting in over him because, again, Warner Brothers only has like 5 female characters they like to push. But yeah, I think Nigel's more likely. But this is a timeline that I'm honestly cool with. I really like Abigail. No way, dude. He's not happy. Look at this dude. This is not. He's smug about it too. He knows he's not getting in and he's cool with it. That's more work for him. He doesn't want to actually go fight people. There's no way Hong Kong Fooey gets in MultiVersus. There's just no way. I'm not a believer. Oh, I hate it, but he was in the files. Surely they learned their lesson with Gizmo and Stripe and Taz and Velma, and they learned that the main character is important to include, right? Surely, surely. You're right. It wouldn't hurt to have more black characters too. I really like Abigail. She's honestly like her and Nigel are the best parts of the show by a lot. They carry that show. They're so good. But yeah, Abigail, I think is being slept on. I think she definitely could get she could get a spot for sure. The Hound. Oh, I don't want him in. I think he's cool, but there are so many Game of Thrones characters that should come first. But Arya does say his name in leaked voice lines, so I gotta put him with Green Lantern. No, I don't. Fuck this guy. He's not getting in. I'm saying it with my chest right now. He can't get in. He will, though. Because we've seen it. We've seen characters edge out the main character before, so this is tough. I'll put him with the Looney Tunes. Huckleberry. I'm neutral on him. I think he's kind of here. It's kind of the same story as the Looney Tunes, right? I could see it happening, but there are Hanna-Barbera characters I think get in first. All right. Huey. I would love to see Huey. I don't know if I see it though. I could see him as an announcer. We have Game of Thrones characters, but he is PG-13 Huey interesting enough? I don't know. I didn't watch the Craig of the Creek movie. I need to get back into watching Cartoon Network stuff. Yeah, I kind of feel poor about Huey's chances to BBK. I don't think it's unlikely. I'll put him in neutral, I guess. I could see it, but I don't think it's even that great of a choice. I think, unironically, if Huey is PG, so he actually doesn't tank the rating of the game with what he says, is that as funny? Okay, he could say Ronald Reagan is the devil and get away with it. He could get away with that. I don't know why I said devil like that. Truth be told, I don't know how. It's such a good show. But I gotta be honest. Ice Bear's not happening. It's a little late for the We Bear Bears gang, in my mind. I think 5 years ago he has a really good shot, but MultiVersus went down for a year, and they really need to focus on characters that people super want. I'm not gonna say he'll never happen. That's a little extreme. I think he's unlikely though. Ice King is like up here. They love Adventure Time in that dev room, dude. They're the biggest Adventure Time fans in the world. And Gandalf, right? Nah, he's above Fred and Beast Boy. I keep him there. My issue is that I don't know how good it'll be for the game to get 4 Adventure Time reps by the end of 2024. And that's a future I could see happening. Because I liked Adventure Time. I don't watch modern Cartoon Network, and I watched 5 seasons of Adventure Time. I thought it was fun. I wouldn't be mad at it. I just don't know if it's good for the game. And I'll just talk about the other Adventure Time character while we're on this point. I think Marceline basically got confirmed, right? There's no way they ask what her default costume should be if they're not talking about adding her, right? I think they might do something for Kevin. Yeah. I'm not sure what they'll do. Even if it's just something in like the credits or something you can find on the menu. I could see them doing something for Kevin, yeah. PB is there too. I'll tell you what, I think PB is slept on. I think PB, listen, man, once Marceline gets in, PB is Dio, right? The very moment anime gets in, Dio stock shoots up. Once Marceline gets in, do you not think people are going to want to be like the stereotypical lesbian couple in duos? Like the goth edgy girl and the bubbly pink girl? Literally the bubbly pink girl? That's like a stereotype. That's like not just a stereotype, that's like a because stereotype has a negative connotation. But that's literally a meme. Right? I think she's up here. I think once Marceline gets in, and she's gonna get in, right? I think she just makes sense. I think people are gonna want this duo. I'd put her above a couple of these characters. I think she has a good shot. Maybe like Connie tier. Because she's up here for the same reason Connie is. I think people might want to run the Steven Connie duo. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah, Marceline is bi. I'm just talking about the lesbian couple meme. Like there's a meme of like the blonde haired girl in the pink and the black haired girl, like the edgy one. That's what I'm talking about. I know Marcy's bi. Aren't they both? He got in. My boy got in. Let's go. I'm gonna put Jabberjaw. I'm gonna put him with Huckleberry, I think. Like I could see it happening. But I think others come first. FP. Who is FP and am I dumb? FP. No, I want Arkham Batman as well. I agree. I think Jasper is so unlikely, by the way. I think there's like 10 Steven Universe characters that come first. As a casual, I didn't know who Jasper was till I saw MultiVersus hype. Oh, Flame Princess. Oh, I could see that. Do you think they could find a way to make Flame Princess a skin for Bubblegum? Maybe? Like if they turn all the Science Blast stuff into fire effects? Flame Princess makes sense. She's not on this list. I would rank her. I don't think she has a bad shot. Because people are going to want the Finn and Flame Princess duo. If Bubblegum gets in, they'll want to run like a Team Princess, right? I would put her in neutral. I don't think she's super likely, but she definitely has a chance. Johnny Bravo. I wouldn't say... Okay. My gut tells me he's like with Fred Flintstone. Johnny's an icon. And also, I saw someone say, I don't think it was Nyles. I think it was like a quote retweet of Nyles where someone said Johnny is too sexist for multiverses. It's kind of the point. Johnny is like Sokka. His sexism is not seen as a good thing. He's a doofus, right? Like he's an example of how not to act. Like the hey mama. Like, come on. I think he stands a chance. I like his odds a lot, actually. I think he's one of the best choices for Cartoon Network. He's a really good classic rep. You know what I mean? Johnny Cage is so unlikely. He could be a costume. I could see a lot of characters he could work for. But there's no way, man. There's like 10 Mortal Kombat characters that don't come first. I think there are 4 that come before him, maybe 5. And that's enough, right? I think that's enough. I would put him... He's with Jasper, I think. I give Jasper the edge. Come on, man. He's in. Like, come on. That dude's getting in. It's not even worth wasting time on. We know he's getting in. All right. I have tears in my eyes because I'm about to rate my boy, and he's not here, and he's not here. Here's the thing. I will put him here, actually. I think he has a really solid shot. I'll put him with Gandalf. So, Jon Snow is the best person they could add for Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon is the show coming out. Spoiler alert, Game of Thrones has been over for 5 years. I'm sorry if you don't know this. Jon Snow is Aegon Targaryen. He is a Targaryen. So he represents House of the Dragon. You could easily make like Matt Damon's character Daemon. Not Matt Damon, I'm an idiot. Matt Smith. Daemon Targaryen. You could make him a skin. Especially if Jon is just mostly swords, right? Likely is fine. I do agree. He's probably more realistically down here. And I'll put him under Courage, under Ice King, under Beast Boy, under everyone but Fred. But here's my thing. This is my list, and I need to boost him. I need to boost my boy. You know what I mean? Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to represent. I love Jon Snow. And he just makes the most sense. I think he's the most likely Game of Thrones character. And also, is there any other character you can think of that serves as a duo partner for Arya and represents House of the Dragon? He's the only one. You know Arya's sword that she uses in-game? You know who gave that to her? Oh man, y'all are talking about Jotaro. I gotta stop the Jon Snow rant. But yeah, I think Jon Snow's got to get in. And honestly, I think Jotaro is the most likely anime rep right now. I don't know if he's above a bunch of these. I put him under Craig. I need to see anime reps in general before I rate Jotaro. Right? I need to see someone from anime get in. And right now, I don't even think any of that is in the files, right? I don't think I've seen a single anime character in the finals ever. So I don't know. I think anime happens eventually, and when it does, it's Jotaro. But I don't know if it's happening soon. You know what I mean? I'd put him up here. Kevin, come on, dude. Like, you think they go through all the work of developing Ben only to ignore the much easier to design side characters? There's no way, right? I do agree Chris is Total Drama's mascot, but WB doesn't own Total Drama. That's why he's down there. WB doesn't own that show. It's a Canadian show that is distributed through Cartoon Network in the US. I'm pretty sure. To put my nerd glasses on, I don't think they own him. I think Gwen's more likely to. You're right. King Kong is in this tier until Godzilla gets in, and then he jumps up a tier. We all agree. King Kong gets in after Godzilla, but not before. I think we can all agree with that, right? I'll put him like around these guys. I'll put him above the Ben 10 characters. You know what? Maybe I'm overhyping Kevin, because I think Vilgax, Gwen both get in before him. Maybe he's like here. You think that demotion is worth it? That's my idea, at least. All right, Katana. I think slept on. I'm not gonna say likely because there are no Mortal Kombat characters right now. But after Scorpion and Sub-Zero, I think too many people jump to Raiden and Liu Kang and Shao Kahn. Here's the issue with that. MultiVersus has 5 women. Kitana makes too much sense. You can help the female roster. You can give her skins for Melina and Jade, and it makes sense. Frankly, I think Melina could be her own character, so you could run the duo. I think if Mortal Kombat gets 4 characters, and it's the duo of male ninjas, Scorpion and Sub, obviously, then the duo of female ninjas, Kitana and Melina, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's good for the game. Godspeed would be a skin. Godspeed, like the Flash character? Are y'all talking about... Oh no, I'm dumb. Y'all are talking about Hunter x Hunter powers. And I'm not anime. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue having fun, chat. I didn't mean to be the grandpa that accidentally said the wrong thing while trying to connect with my kids. God, what an old list. LeBron's on here. Good lord. But yeah, I think Katana's like... She's about as likely as these, I'd say. She's got a good shot. No way. No way anyone wants Joust in this game. No Liu Kang. I kind of agree. I don't think he gets in. I think Katana gets in. Or are you saying no Liu Kang? Like he gets in before Katana? I disagree with that. They need female reps. And Katana's great. She's a really cool character. And she makes a lot of sense. KO. Okay. I think goes up here. But not at the top. He's like... I'll give him the edge of these characters. I think KO makes sense. Right? Oh, is a question. Okay, so Liu Kang, I think makes sense if they did a character to launch alongside MK1. They missed that window by a lot. He's not the main character of the movies. That's Cole Young. Ooh. I hate Cole Young, dude. But I think they missed their chance for Liu Kang, maybe. Right? There's nothing wrong with wanting Joust, but you are the only one. And I respect the hell out of that, honestly. I just, you know. Crypto. Kind of super unlikely. I could see him being a skin, real talk. If they do Scooby-Doo, I could see like a cosplay skin. Maybe he's a costume for Scooby-Doo, right? I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. Like, I know he has Superman's powers, but who cares? He's a dog, you know? Putting him on a dog makes sense. Lake, they shot Infinity Train. I'm so sorry. Your show is gone. And it does suck. It was a good show, but it's gone. All right, now here's a character. As a casual, I think this is our most likely Steven Universe character yet. I think she's like here. There's 2 above her. And by the way, I don't think we get Connie, Lapis, and the 2 other ones. I think we get 2 of those, and then we're mostly done. But dude. Player First Games loves Steven Universe so much. They're going to put him in. They're going to put more Steven Universe reps in, is what I mean. LeBron's up there. Legolas. I'm neutral on him. I don't even think he's a good pick. I would do Frodo. Frodo has... Spinel's not on the list. I think she's like with Connie. She's like around here. We don't get all of them. We get 2. And you know what? As someone that doesn't like Steven Universe, I'm happy to give y'all 2 reps. But you collectively, as a community, need to decide on 2 more reps and then be done. Because there are so many Cartoon Network shows we got to get to. So, Steven Universe fans in the chat, this is us holding official negotiations right now. We're like the UN. We're the United Nations. Are you fine with 2 more Steven Universe reps and then nothing? Maybe skins and stages. I'm fine with that. I don't care. We shake our hands. 2 more Steven Universe reps. There's a massive delay, so I'm gonna assume you agree with me. I'll hardwire in next time so there's not as much of a delay. All right, Leonidas, that's not happening. He's just a dude. Also, Leonidas was like a real guy. They don't even need to do the 300 version if they put him in. You just need Lapis? Sure. You can have her. Okay, Lex Luthor's stock has risen significantly. Do we agree with this? Superman Legacy being their big DC movie next year, like that, and the Batman 2. They don't even have a movie this year, like at all. I think his stock soared. I think he's way more likely than Darkseid and Deathstroke right now. I almost want to put him at the bottom of this tier. I think in 2025, alongside Superman Legacy, we get Lex Luthor. It just makes too much sense. It makes way too much sense. Yeah, people know Lex. Your grandpa and your grandma, they know who Lex Luthor is. Everyone knows. You can run like the... You know how Batman and Superman are the world's finest? Like, that's their team. And usually they fight Lex and Joker teaming up. You can make that team in this game. That'd be really cool. So I think we see Lex at some point. The Lich, I'm kind of mixed on. I think there are way cooler characters to get. I know he's scary and he has a cool design. But if we get a villain, why not just give us Ice King? He has so much more personality. I think the Lich is... I don't know. I think he's kind of boring compared to other Steven Universe characters. I'd put him almost like with these guys. I don't think his chances are bad, especially because I've seen a lot of cool artwork, and I think Adventure Time fans love the Lich. And I stopped at Season 5, so that might be right before Prime Lich season. But I just think I'd rather Ice King for a villain rep. If they do a boss, and they have characters that are bosses that aren't playable, I would love to see the Lich. But a big part of this game is the interaction between characters. And you can't not give me Ice King over him then. Because the Ice King just has so much personality. And then Bubblegum, people are going to want for the Marceline team. If Adventure Time gets 5 reps, which I think is a little much, but it could happen, I think the Lich has a very good chance. But right now... But even then, he'd be fighting against Bubblegum. And you don't think people want Bubblegum once her girlfriend's in the game? They do. They absolutely do. So, make him a boss. Should we make... No one's a stage yet, so should we just do boss? We'll do boss, because we haven't done anyone as a stage. He's there. Make him a boss. Alright. Lion-O. Dude, does anyone want the Thundercats? He's not that low, though, right? Just for the sake of having a new franchise with a lot of history, I could see it. I think he's like barely above Gollum though. I could see it. There's a world. I think Darkseid could be a boss, but there's a good chance they make him playable. I do think this is the best timeline because you can represent the most DC characters this way. Like, I think Deathstroke would have a really cool moveset. I'm a Deathstroke fanboy. I'm sorry. But I'm going to keep him here because I think there's a really good chance he's playable. Just straight up. Liu Kang. I'm not going to say he's unlikely. His stock is rising because MK1 has the coolest Liu Kang ever. I think he's like around Green Lantern. I could see it, but I also think other characters come first. I'll be real. I guess this is another hot take. Green Lantern should not be in like the 4 next DC characters. I think there are multiple that should come first. Lola is pretty likely. I know people are going to want her to be a costume. I disagree. I disagree so hard. I think it's a real bummer they put in Taz and Marvin because Daffy and Lola are so popular. But I guess she could be a costume. I think she has their buff where people are going to want like a duo with them. And she's the most likely of these, right? People are going to want a duo, Bugs and Lola. So I'm going to put her here. But we'll see. Mac and Blue. Can we agree this is just Blue? Who did this? Who made this? He's pretty likely, though. I think he's around Grimm and KO. Do I bump down Aquaman? I think I do. I think these are a bit more likely. Oof. Mad Max stock is at an all-time low. He's not even in his next movie. It's Furiona, right? Or Furiosa? It's Furiosa. So I think he's like here. Worse than Lego Man. You're worse than Lego Man. You're worse than Lego Man. Really? Mau Mau's not happening, gang. I don't think Mau Mau happens. I think Mau Mau, I don't want to attack any of you, is like a Tumblr character. I think Mau Mau has more fans of the design. And look, I love the furries. I have a lot of subscribers that are furries, but that's mostly it, right? The show didn't do super well. That's why it's not still around. No, Mad Max is in Mad Max, but Mad Max isn't in Furiosa. It's a different movie. Yeah, I'm not going to say he's impossible, because Mau Mau has an audience. But is that audience powerful enough to get him into multiverses? I'll tell you what, I think he's more likely than these guys, maybe. I could see him before Rampage. That's a skin, dude, by the way. Let's go to Martian Manhunter. Just make him a Superman skin. That's why they're there. Look, my rant. I'm tired of the idea that because someone has the potential to be their own character means they have to be. We're talking about a game with less than 30 characters. We shouldn't even be talking about Martian Manhunter and Batman Beyond and Fred Jones. We should be talking about these guys and these guys. Right? We should get in the Joker before we talk about Martian Manhunter, maybe. So I think he could be a Superman skin and no one would complain ever. Right? Marvin, he got in the game. He killed the game, actually. Wasn't he the last character to get a release? Sorry, I did drink some beer. I cracked open a brewski at the top of this stream, and I've been talking too much and not drinking enough. I'm too coherent. Master Shake. Dude, it'd be funny, right? Big cup walking around. He's kind of where Huey's at, but I think he gets the edge because he's a cartoon cup. He'd be funny as hell. Oh, God. I don't want to... He deserves to be here. Can we all agree Maxwell deserves to be there? But I gotta bump him down. I think Ben 10's their big project at the moment. I think Beast Boy comes after that. I think he's like down here. I hate it. I love Scribblenauts. And I think this is such a cool character. I'll put him like under the Eds, right? God, I'd love him. I want him in the game so bad. He makes so much sense. He's one of 2 Warner Brothers video game IPs that survived. You know what I mean? It's him in Mortal Kombat. That's it. That's not based on existing franchises, you know? No, Flapjack, I'm saying I wish he was up there. I'm saying I wish Maxwell was basically confirmed. They haven't said anything about it, but I love him. Get him in. Look, oh, all right. I stopped talking literally mid-word because they put Mecha Godzilla on this list for some reason. That's a freaking... That's not even an announcer. I'm dumb. That's a costume. That's never not a costume. Okay. Sequel to Maxwell. I wish Mob was up here. He's my favorite character from a Warner Brothers produced anime. But he's not above Jotaro. I think he's like top of neutral. He's not even, I don't think. It depends. Because the show's over, right? So you got to think by the time we get Jotaro, his stock goes down with time now. Because I don't think there's a new season coming out. So I'm not sure how I feel about Mob. I think he's actually like here. I miss him. Bring him back for 9 new seasons. Mojo has such a good shot in my mind. I think he's like above Aku. Maybe he's above these 2, actually. I could see him before those 2. All right. This dude's getting in. I feel very confident that this dude gets in. If not him, someone from regular show, right? I think it's him. And I don't think Rigby is with him yet. And we're going to rank Rigby. I think Rigby is like here. Because you're going to want the duo. If you do both Finn and Jake, you need to do both Mordecai and Rigby. That's the point, right? They have such a good chance. They're so deserving of it. And they have a great shot. I hope it happens. Morty was like right here. Neo, weird choice. He's cool if you're 30. I think he's a cool character with a lot of moveset potential, and he's probably going to get in eventually. But I don't know if it's soon. I do think it's above some of these. Does he beat anime? He might beat anime. I think he beats anime. No way. They're not gonna... You're not gonna risk the backlash from adding a Harry Potter character and not add Harry Potter. Right? We all agree? This is stupid. Look, we all know where he deserves to be. He deserves this. Right? Get Osmosis Jones in there. He's the GOAT. Realistically, I don't think he's unlikely because Iron Giant exists in the game. And there's not a whole lot of reps for Warner Brothers animation. And he has a lot of moveset potential, but he's not high up there. He might be above Gollum. He doesn't have the Golem stink from the new game. So, all right. New hot take. Don't put Paul in the game. Give me Zendaya. I don't want to play as Timothée Chalamet. I don't want to do that. I just don't think he'd be cool when Zendaya exists. But being honest, I think he's actually pretty likely. I could see it. I think he's like up here, actually. I think he edges out Gwen. God, I think he's above Maxwell, and that's depressing. It's really depressing. Pearl. He's up here, man. That's Lois Griffin. That's Lois Griffin. I've seen that show. But also, she's really popular. I've seen her in so much stuff. I think that character is really high. I think she's the most likely Steven Universe character that they gave me on this list. Pennywise, 5 years ago, really good odds. Now, I think he's about with Freddy Krueger. I think they pick one, and then they do the other one later. I think he makes more sense than Freddy, because you can do some advertising with a Pennywise and Joker team. And he even has Beetlejuice vibes, right? Like a Beetlejuice and Pennywise teams. Kind of makes sense to me. That's never happening. All right. Peridot is not Pearl, but she is the director of the game's favorite Steven Universe character, and that puts her above Connie and Lapis. She's like here. That is true. They're doing Welcome to Derry. I'll bump him up. I forgot that show existed. He could be a boss, but I think he's a character first. I'll put him here because in the new show. I don't think he's that likely, but I could see it. Guys, what is Pibby? I know he's like in a lot of stuff and is like kind of a mascot character and he's appeared a lot. I kind of think he's unlikely. I just don't see it happening. I think Peridot is the fan favorite, and Pearl is more recognizable to casuals, if that makes sense. I think Pibby's down there. I think he's cute, but if I don't know a character immediately, and I'm such a freaking online nerd loser, then I don't think they have great odds. And that's my gut reaction. Hold on, where are the Animaniacs? Oh, Warner siblings. Boom. They're trolling if they don't put in the Warners. But the reason I want to talk about the Warners is because of Pinky and the Brain. They're in the same universe. And because the Warners are so iconic, I actually think Pinky and the Brain have a solid chance. I'd put them like here. I think they have a pretty good odds, actually. I'll actually put all three Steven Universe characters. No, because she's more likely. Gosh, Steven Universe. What a mess, right? I don't know how to rank these guys. It's so hard. I think it's like that. Yeah, they're literally called the Warners. They need to be in the game. And because same universe, they're also iconic. I think Pinky and the Brain have a really good shot too. Maybe not immediately, right? But I think they have good chances. Oh boy. So you know how earlier I mentioned how Catwoman is going to rank low because I think there's a female Batman villain that makes so much more sense. That's Poison Ivy, dude. You have Harley in the game. And they mentioned Poison Ivy in the files. I think she's low-key up here. I think they want to complete the Harley-Ivy duo at some point. I think both Harley and Ivy got to be in this game eventually. And also, I think it would break the internet, or like a very specific part of Twitter. It would melt their minds if you could run Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn versus Marceline and Princess Bubblegum. Right? I think that would break a very specific part of Twitter. And Tony and the dev team follows a lot of that part of Twitter. So I think this is a really good pick for the game. She's famous. She has really cool, like, moveset potential, too. Right? No one else does what she does. Pops, that's an announcer, dude. No, he could. But would Pops get in before Benson, Muscleman, or Skips? Probably not. I don't know if we get... Oh, Poison Ivy and Audrey, too, would be cool. I agree. Audrey, too, is cool. Not on the list, sadly. But, yeah, I think Pops is an announcer. And a very funny one. All right. Now, I've heard some things that makes me think this. But I'm not confident. So I'll drop them down to, like... God, they're high. They're really high. They're like right here, probably. I think. An announcer? It's like Rainicorn. It's a character that announces your game and talks over your game, and when you get KO'd, they're like, KO. That kind of stuff. I'd like to see Pops. He's funny. But I think the other characters get in first. Quick draw. I'm pretty confident never. I think if they wanted to do a character like this, they'd do Yosemite Sam. I don't even know how likely Yosemite Sam he is. Or, sorry. God, what? His name broke me. I'm so sorry. I don't know how likely Sam is. I think he's above these two. But I think they do Daffy and then take a break. Right? Because there's 4 Looney Tunes once Daffy's in. But I could see him happening for sure. Rad's... No. He's with Enid. They can hang out down here. We get one okay KO character for sure. Raiden, pretty unlikely. He's really lame in MK1. He's just a guy. He's like what Liu Kang used to be, where he's just a boring hero. He's just like, don't worry, Katana, I'm a good guy. I think Katana likes that for some reason, you know what I mean? I think he's like here. I could see him before these guys, but... Alright, I want to put her here. And I think it's a bit trolling for me to put her here, but I've listened to Raven talk to me. I've listened to Raven talk to... Hold on, I'm going to get her. I'm going to get who she was talking to. She's not going to stay there. Don't freak out when I put her in confirmed for a second. I've heard her talk to 11 in a Vokaroo file that was ripped from the closed alpha. Right? Raven's almost certainly going to happen. She's the only character from that initial voice leak that didn't get in. Iron Giant got in. LeBron James got in. Marvin got in. She's all that's left. Gizmo got in. He was part of that. And Nakat has a Raven tattoo, and he's on the dev team. Do you think our community manager will let us down and fail to get this goth queen inside the game? Raven is one of the best DC characters. Teen Titans Raven is the best. And the cat is on he's on the team. Also, 11 is not in basically confirmed. I think she's very likely still. Netflix has loosened up their grip on their IPs for video games, and they already have voice lines where I think Finn talks to 11, but Raven has a lot of lines where she's talking to 11, right? So I think 11 has a really good shot, but it's up to Netflix. Like, Netflix is finicky with that stuff, but Rick already got in. Just put him there. Roadrunner, I kind of think is unlikely. I think we'll get the Flash for a speedster rep, and it's harder to make Roadrunner work. Roadrunner was why there was a stage option, because I could see Roadrunner as a stage. I'll just put him in neutral now, I guess. I'll put him below Sam, above Fudd. Robin, come on, dude. This guy's like. Have you seen how well Robin pulls, by the way? So, people who like DC characters that aren't Robin will gaslight you into thinking nobody wants him. But his votes are split between Robin and Nightwing. And when people ask for Robin, they're always talking about the Teen Titans Robin, who is Dick Grayson. That's Dick Grayson. And Nightwing is also Dick Grayson. It's the same reason why people think Slade doesn't pull as well as he does, because a lot of people will call him Slade because Teen Titans, it's a Cartoon Network game. There's a lot of Cartoon Network characters in it. And a lot of people call him Deathstroke, so his vote gets split. But no, Robin gets in. For sure he gets in. I don't know if Rick and Morty have voice lines now. I would hope so. I think that'd be really cool. Especially because, like, I agree. Batman and Robin are a duo, and they need to be in the game as a duo. And if you want Teen Titans Robin, then you need to just have Nightwing be a skin for him, because you should not have two Dick Graysons, right? Anyways, Robot Boy, very unlikely. I'll give him a bump because he's cool and he's niche. By the way, Green Arrow's above those, probably. No, I'll give Pibby the edge. I don't know why. I'd do it. Rorschach is also with Green Arrow. Watchmen is not hot right now. I don't know, man. We get the Watchmen in Injustice 3. We don't get them in Multiverses, is my thinking right now. I'm gonna get this out of the way. He's up there. Ruby Rose. I think she's really high up. Like, why did Warner Brothers buy Rooster Teeth if they're not gonna use Ruby Rose, who's like the only popular character from Rooster Teeth, right? I think she's got to be high. I'll put her above Paul Atreides. Sauron, that's a boss. If he gets in, ever, that's a boss. Scooby-Doo, I think, is up here. I'm surprised he's not in the game. I'll put him with the other scared dog, but no, he's like actually... Put him under Harry Potter. Yeah, Ruby is a good way to, like, stick your toe into anime, because Warner Brothers has the full rights to Ruby, but they don't have the full rights to, like, JoJo, for example. They just distribute that show in the West. So, like, you know, they just distribute JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They don't own the property. But with Ruby, they actually own her, and they could make that happen. The only Ruby show I know is Ruby. Or sorry, the only Rooster Teeth show I know is Ruby and Red versus Blue. I don't know what else they've done. Scorpion is like up here, dude. He happens eventually. It's just a matter of when, not if. You know what I mean? And Sub-Zero has to be with him. You can't do one. In a 2v2 game, you can't have one and not the other. Harry Potter's above both of them, though. Warner Brothers is Warner Brothers. It is what it is, man. Yeah. They're up there for sure. That's not happening. That's maybe an announcer, but not a character. He'd be a great boss. I don't know about a character, though. That's a skin. I'm kind of flying through these because there's a bunch of nothing characters in a row. I'm so sorry, Shazam fans. I'm so sorry. It was him or Black Adam. It was never going to be both. He's a skin. I'm so sorry. You can thank Dwayne Johnson for killing his chances. Now, this is an announcer, and he's a great one. I wouldn't mind him as a character, as long as I get someone I like. I think Sheldon Cooper would be really funny, and he'd piss off a lot of people. But I don't really care that much. I think there's a lot of characters we should get first. But I also think there is a lot of headline potential out of Sheldon Cooper because he exists as a meme, right? Snagglepuss is not happening. Get out of here with that, dude. Sonya Blade is with Liu Kang. If they decide that Sonya Blade, because she was the first MK woman, is a better female rep for the series than Kitana, I could see that happening. But that's the only world where she gets in my opinion. Space Ghost, I think, has a pretty decent shot, but he's not super high up there. I'd put him bottom of likely, right? Although, real talk, he could be a skin or an announcer. I could see him getting either of this, right? I'll put him bottom of likely because he's iconic. But is he more likely than Green Lantern? No. I think I'm capping there. I think I'm capping a bit. I think he's actually there. Okay, Spear does not get in without the T-Rex. With the T-Rex, he has a shot. He's like here. Oh, man. I don't know if I'm going to hurt any fans of the classic comic Spy versus Spy, but they're not happening, dude. They already did their moveset on Tom and Jerry. The moveset where two characters fight each other and they accidentally hit other people exists as Tom and Jerry. I don't know if they're that interesting because of that. I almost don't think they're worth adding. I think they're like maybe next to Pibby. This tier is not ordered. This is just kind of a whatever tier. I think Chris is top of it, but Spike, good chance. He's the only other Tom and Jerry character we'll see. Butch, that's a costume if he gets in. Spike actually has a shot. I think we could see it. Oh boy. I'm going to hurt my own feelings here. I almost want to put Starfire in Never. There's just too many characters they need to add. But if they put Supergirl in the game, Starfire becomes a costume. If they put Supergirl in the game, Starfire all of a sudden is a great costume for Supergirl. And Supergirl's getting a movie, so that might actually happen. You know what I mean? So she's a costume for Supergirl, if anything. Static is very likely. I agree. They'd be dumb not to put him in. How likely is he? I'll give Gandalf the edge, but Static's up there. God, how did this happen, man? How did this character get in before the Joker? Oh my god. Alright, Sylvester is a costume for Tom and Jerry. T-Bone, no. These are easy because all the nobodies are at the bottom. Dirax, no. I love Osmosis Jones, but no. Tom? Unlikely but cool. Do we agree cool, but probably not happening? I don't know how likely Tom is, but cool pick. I wouldn't be mad. They got to put in Agent 47. Brother, they don't own him. It'd be cool, but if they're going to negotiate for a video game character's rights, they're going to do like a Master Chief. I don't see it. Top Cat. No way, man. There's just no way. Tyrion, he is popular, but I don't know if anyone wants to play as him. He's definitely in this tier. Below Cyborg, below... I'll put him here. Unikitty. Okay, weirdly enough, she has a chance. I'll put her above, like, Chowder. But she had her own show, right? I could actually see Unikitty. And Wildstyle is with Unikitty. I could actually see this happening. No. I don't foresee him as playable. I think he'd be a boss. And kinda... I actually think Voldemort could be playable. Actually. I think Voldemort has a decent chance. If they do Harry Potter, they're gonna do Voldemort eventually. I think he's like here. Right? Tyrion could be a support, but they're moving away from Game of Thrones and towards House of the Dragon. And I think we get Jon Snow and Daenerys before Tyrion. And at that point, they probably just do someone from House of the Dragon, right? Like Daemon Targaryen. By the way, none of the Ruby characters are happening except for Ruby. Is my take. That's crazy to give them more than one slot. They get Ruby. It's called, you know, the show isn't called Blake or Weiss or Yang, right? I know all their names are the anagram, but you get it. Wicked Witch. I really hate to say it, but God, she's like up here. What a dark timeline that we have to get the Wicked Witch. Huh? What a dark timeline. I don't think Damien should be the Robin they do, but it might. I think Robin should be Dick Grayson. But they might do Damien with like a Teen Titans Robin skin. I think that makes sense. With the new movie, yeah, Damien makes sense as well. I could see it for sure. Oh, you're talking about Wicked? Yeah. Yep. She'll happen. Guys, there's one universe where she's cool though. And that's where she moves like she's Eno from Guilty Gear. Because Eno rides her guitar like it's a broom when she dashes in Guilty Gear. If Wicked Witch moves like Eno, she could be cool. Boy, is he not happening. Boy, is he not happening. And he should. He should. But WB doesn't want to support this shit. You know what I mean? Do you think they want to add him to a game while people are bitching at them to release his movie? There's no way. This is WB being evil, but he doesn't get in. Which sucks, because I really think he should. He'd be really cool. Willy Wonka is weirdly likely. He weirdly has a good shot, right? I think he's kind of like up here. I'll put him with a Yogi Bear. I could see it, man. It sucks because I think Wile E. Coyote should be like up here, right? But come on. WB is like evil. They won't do it. God, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Zatanna's not happening. I'm so sorry. This is not happening. Okay, if Mortal Kombat couldn't get Ash Williams, they aren't getting... MultiVersus isn't getting him, you know what I mean? This is a weird pick as well. They'll do classic Willy Wonka with the Timothy Chalamet $20 skin that no one buys. Billy Butcher. There's no way, man. Boys is so overhyped. It's a great show, but they're not going to get into everything. Like, the Boys crowd is Call of Duty and Mortal Kombat. That's why they got in those. They're not going to get in MultiVersus. Buddy. A weird part of me can see this. I'll put him above Gollum and Osmosis Jones and Lionel. I could see it. Is Captain Planet not Nickelodeon? Oh, we're in guest characters now, I guess. No way. He might be a skin, but that'd be crazy, right? That's not happening. Doc Brown would be cool. I think Doc Brown as an announcer and Morty as the character makes sense to me. I wouldn't put Morty in likely, though. Guest characters are hard because none of them are that likely. He beats Mob. Okay, we're just going to rate one Ninja Turtle, and it's going to be Raphael. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I could see it. They're in everything. I think they could easily get the rights for the Ninja Turtles, but they either need to find a way to make all 4 Ninja Turtles one character or not do it, because I don't want to give 4 slots for one crossover. I think that's insane. I do not want to see it. I think Shell could maybe happen, but I think the point of the Lego Dimensions crossover is that with the way that game worked with like the flipping between dimensions, and MultiVersus kind of has that going on, I think Shell made sense, but Lego Dimensions was also 10 years ago when Portal was more relevant, right? This is not happening. This is not happening. We've already talked about him. I'm gonna get all the ones that aren't happening out of the way. I'm just not a believer in like any of these. There's no way in hell, dude. I'll put Mickey Mouse bottom of unlikely because I see why they would want him. Damn, we're just shooting everyone right now, aren't we? Happy Feet. God, what a funny character, but no way he gets in. Hey, before Mickey Mouse and Gimli. Goku. Okay, so what are the chances they ask if they can put Goku in their game? 100%. They've already asked, probably. There's no way they don't ask for Goku. Migo is WB. Is that this guy? There's no way he gets in before the other Lego characters. Like Ninjago and stuff. I stand by that. But Goku, they definitely are gonna try, right? But he doesn't. It depends. He got in Fortnite, but how much money did Fortnite throw? Fortnite just has $1 billion budget, so I can't say they get Goku for sure. I think he's as likely. He's less than the Ninja Turtles and Lego. And like I'd put him here. They're going to try, but these are the chances that he makes it. Right? Mickey's not in Never because if Disney never wants to give them the rights to Mickey Mouse and they can't get the rights to any Disney characters, they could always put in Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse, and that'd be kind of cool because of Bugs Bunny, right? Mickey's not in Never. He's just really unlikely. Harvey Birdman, I'd put like here maybe. He's kind of Space Ghost-esque. I could maybe see it. Bro, there's no way. Kids today don't like He-Man. I could see them asking. So he's going to go up here. And there's no way, dude. Okay, now this is a character I could see. This is a character that I think could actually happen. He's a guest character, though, so he has to be the bottom, right? No way. He's guaranteed. John Cena, I could actually see this as well. I think he's up here. Johnny Test. He's a weird one, isn't he? Because they don't own him. It's a Total Drama. I think he's with Total Drama, right? I think they're kind of in the same boat. They're gonna try, but I don't know. Okay. Good news. I'm done pooping on your characters. I think Ninjago has a really, really, really good chance. They still make that show, right? They literally still put out Ninjago. Yeah, I think Lloyd's like up here. And the reason Happy Feet is above Smallfoot is Happy Feet not Warner Brothers Animation? I thought, wait, is Smallfoot Warner Brothers? I'll bump him up if he is. I thought he was like DreamWorks or something. But Ninjago fans, I think Lloyd stands a really good shot at getting into the game. I think maybe... God, he stands such a good chance, I think. I think he stands a really good chance. Hold on. Let me look up. Smallfoot. Smallfoot, who made it? Who made it? Warner Brothers. Okay. We'll bump him up. We'll bump up Migo. My bad. I thought Migo, someone I'd like to apologize. You said Migo's WB. And I thought you were talking about this guy, but you're talking about this guy. Yeah, he's with Happy Feet. You're right. The Mask, man, he'd be a cool guest character if the movie came out and this was the 90s. Right now, I think he'd be better in Injustice. I think that's more the crowd that would appreciate this. This crowd, you have to keep in mind the people that made videos on MultiVersus were like Alpha Rad and Moist Critical of like the casual people who like this game. I don't know if they're hype about the Mask like that, or if their fans are hype about the Mask like that. I don't think the casual audience cares about this character. But he's certainly not less likely than like Mickey Mouse and Happy Feet. He's below Mao Mao though. He's kind of low. Naruto is with Goku. They're gonna ask, but they're gonna say no. Hold on, new tier. I don't try doing this a lot, but they will try. They will try for these two. Like 100% they take the shot for these two. But God knows if they get it, right? And there's another character that goes there, and that's Sonic. Sonic doesn't have crossovers like crazy. I don't think he's ever been in a fighting game outside of Smash. So it's a really tough sell. Like, he's not even in Fortnite. I think they did a Fall Guys thing. But yeah, I don't know. Optimus is really high up, man. The Transformers rights are not hard to get. If Smite, Battleground of the Gods, with like 10,000 concurrent players at most, a game I love, by the way, could get Optimus Prime, MultiVersus can get Optimus Prime. I think Optimus Prime is the single most likely guest character. Yeah, there's Sonic the Fighters, but that's a Sonic game. That's still true. Still true. There's people that would want the mask, but they're not people that are worth licensing out a third-party character for. When you license out a third-party character, you need to make your money back. It's stuff like Optimus Prime, Goku, Sonic. It's like this stuff that you want. Sonic was in Lego Dimensions. I'll bump him. That's a good point. I'll put him with Optimus, actually. I think these three stand the best chance out of the guest characters. Generator Rex. Oh, man. Oh, I'm going to make people unhappy, but, like, there's no way, right? That he's guaranteed. I think he has a niche fan base that can be loud. He's kind of with Spear, right? Where he has a fan base and they're going to be loud about him. And there's a lot of passionate fans for Generator X or Generator Rex. Sorry, I misspoke. But his show isn't Ben 10. It's not to the level where he's guaranteed. I still think there's a shot. Like, don't give up on this character if he's your favorite. He has a really good shot. Rick Deckard, they're not going to do that. It almost feels... It would be for the meme if they put in Robbie Rotten, and it almost feels a little disrespectful. But it's not impossible. He's above Mickey. They're not going to do RoboCop. Yeah, they're just not going to waste their time with some of these guest characters. Robot Chicken has a decent shot. I put him, like, above these guys, but not quite for, like, these. Okay, so I'm going to explain why Ryu is one of the best picks for a guest character. And it's because MultiVersus is the only game where they can do Mortal Kombat versus DC in a fighting game. It's the only chance. Mortal Kombat will never get into Smash. It won't happen. Ryu could get into MultiVersus, and then you could do Ryu versus Scorpion for the only time ever. And I think that's worth. I think he's up here. I would even put him above Invincible and John Cena. They're still guest characters, so they're below the WB stuff, obviously. But yeah, I think he has a really good shot. Shantae, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if that's someone you want. I don't see it happening, like, ever. I think Spawn is with... No, he's above the mask. Like, Spawn's kind of popular. He's kind of pretty popular, actually. I'd put him... I think Marty makes more sense for this game. Well, I'll put him, like... He's above Gollum. He's not above the Looney Tunes. Maybe he separates the Looney Tunes and the Hanna-Barbera characters. Sporticus. Low-key, I think, is more likely than Robbie Rotten. So I'll bump him up below Gollum. I just think Robbie Rotten is like really, I don't know. I think he's a cool character. I'd like to see him. But it borderlines on disrespectful depending on how they do it. You know what I mean? I'd love to see him, but I think that's tricky. Sporticus is less tricky, right? I don't think I am underestimating Mask's populate. Oh, sorry, bumped my cord. I don't think I am underestimating the Mask. I think you need to keep in mind that the Mask is like a Injustice pick, right? I think you're overestimating the casual appeal of the Mask. I think in a game like Injustice, where all the characters they try to keep related to comic books, he is an incredible choice. But in MultiVersus, I don't know. I just don't think when I think of a game with Finn the Human, Bugs Bunny, Batman, and like, I don't know, I just don't see it. They had Happy Meal toys for MultiVersus. You know, this game targets a younger audience, and they don't want the Mask. They want Sonic the Hedgehog. God damn. I don't want to put him on this list. I think he'd be a funny announcer, but I don't want him playable. The Undertaker is so, like... I can't say he's unlikely. No, he's unlikely. He's a weird pick. He's in Brawlhalla, I guess. But I think if they did a WWE character, it'd just be John Cena. This is not happening. V for Vendetta is with the Mask. Wrong game. I'm gonna make a new... tier for y'all. There you go. They're not getting in this one, but they'll be in Injustice 3. And then Wreck-It Ralph's not happening, and this character, like, God. Pretty low, honestly. I think he's pretty low on the Cartoon Network pecking order. I don't want to say never, but it's pretty damn close to never. Yeah, dude, he's like, brother is low. All right. And that's our list. Donatello, we know that he's just the Ninja Turtles, right? This is our list. How are we feeling about it? I feel pretty good. Let me look over these. Gandalf might be a little high, but that's fine. I'll be his rep. Hey, Naders, I appreciate that. You know, of course, dude. Like, it means a lot that you would treat me like an inspiration like that. And it's nice to be back. These streams are going to be more regular. And now that we've actually made this tier list, and I'll upload it to Twitter after the stream is over. So, oh, by the way, follow me on Twitter if you'd like to see the full image. Dozy Boy misses MultiVersus, because of course I do. But going forward, I have a lot of plans for content and streaming, and this content revolves around MultiVersus primarily for videos, but streaming is going to be more like Street Fighter and Tekken until I can actually play MultiVersus again. I really, really, really like the new fighting games. They're so good. I've been playing so much Tekken and raging. And if you guys would like to see me like 14 beers, that's an exaggeration. I don't drink that much. But like 5 beers deep, trying to climb Tekken ranked, or when Ed comes out in Street Fighter doing the same thing. That's the kind of stuff you can expect. That's the kind of stuff I'm going to be doing on stream. Stream is going to be my hangout, right? Where you guys can hang out with me. I'm going to talk about whatever I want. It's not going to be MultiVersus every day. It's MultiVersus today because I miss it. And it's, it's an important topic to me. I love the game. It brought most of you to me, right? It gave me such a large audience compared to what I have before. I'm still a relatively small channel, but I am beyond thankful for what I have. And the fact that we were averaging 30 viewers when I just randomly started streaming without warning anybody, by the way. That's very kind. You're great. I'm very grateful for you guys. And we are going to be ending stream in just a second. But I wanted to say thank you. I wanted to let you guys know that I am back. Expect more streams than actual videos for a little bit until we have something to bite off of for MultiVersus. And yeah, we're going to be playing some Tekken. We're going to be playing Street Fighter. So, with all that said, thank you guys. This has been Nosy Boy. And I will smell you guys later. Hold on, how do I... Uh-oh, grandpa time. How do I turn off the stream?